Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me okay. I wanted to come on and talk about something that's so important. It is an important time right now. We have the holidays coming up, they're just around the corner. We just got through with Thanksgiving, if for those of you who are in the US. And a lot of times people are feeling bittersweet during the holidays. There is some people that are experiencing grief of a past loved one, grief of maybe a loss of a relationship or a job, or just difficult times. It could be health, it could be friendships, it could be anything that's coming up. And when the holidays are happening, you're walking into stores and you're seeing the stores lit up with Christmas decorations and everything else. Everyone's very happy. There's a mixture of things going on. There's a lot of emotions. It ignites emotions. Holidays naturally ignite emotions. And the one thing that I've recognized over time is when I was working with, when I'm giving readings to people, all right, when I'm giving mediumship readings or even intuitive readings to people, a lot of times the things that come up are, well, I'm not in the mood for the holidays. Or if they're going through a tough time, I'm not in the mood for the holidays. I'm not ready for the holidays. I don't know if I can celebrate the same because my past loved one's not here. And you're not meant to do things the same. I think that's the thing with grief is we try to hold on to everything being the same, and that's what actually pushes us into more grief because we're comparing our life to what it was like before. And in actuality, it will never be the same because either physically that person isn't here in the same way, that we can't celebrate the way that we want to, or we're not in the same headspace as we were yesterday. So I think it's important to give yourself some grace and also really be aware that not all storms last. Okay, so think of the amazing moments in your life. There's a glimmer of beautiful moments that come in your life. And then there's moments that are difficult times, and they never last. There's always things changing in life. It's a consistent change with everything that goes on in life. If you think about this time yesterday, most likely you were doing something different at this time yesterday at 6 o'clock, if it's Eastern Standard Time for you. Um, so, what I would suggest is to embrace the change if you're going through grief the best that you can. If you're feeling like, you're out at a holiday party and you're not in the mood to be there, you still got yourself to go there and you were missing your past loved one, open up the communication with them. Really be aware of their presence around you as best you can. Talk to them. You can talk to them in your mind. If you're at your house by yourself or in your car, you can speak to them out loud. If you're someone that's going through a difficult time yourself personally, and it's a different type of grief, maybe it's the unknown of what's going to happen next, or not sure if you even want to be around people right now. That's a very normal thing to feel around the holidays too. Really embrace the emotions that are bubbling up. And I always suggest, it sounds so simple, but getting out a journal and writing everything in the journal. Put the date next to it and really get everything on paper, because so often we keep everything up here. And most of the time, we're having the same thoughts swirling and swirling in our mind. And when you're thinking of repeated negative thoughts in your mind over and over again, physically, it could be very, very draining. It could be taxing on your immune system too. So you have to think about what really brings you joy or really just brings you peace in the moment and taking it slow. And I think, like I said at the very beginning of this video, grief, really, the hardest part about grief is you want something to be the same exact way, or you want yourself to feel one way and you're not. So it's very easy to get frustrated with yourself. And then you're more angry for not being where you're at than you are about the actual topic sometimes. That can take over. So it's important to think about, really, what am I feeling honestly right now? Am I pushing myself out of the comfort zone to do something that I don't want to do? I know that I should do it, but really I would like to be home and take a nap. Maybe it is taking the nap for, a 30-minute recharge or a reboot. Maybe it is showing up at the holiday party, and when someone asks you how are you doing, you don't just say, "Oh, I'm doing great," when you're not doing great. So that is probably the worst thing that you can do, is when you actually say you feel a certain way when you really don't. Then you're telling a lie out loud, you're telling a lie to your body, and there's confusion in there. So it's important to say, you don't have to tell them your whole entire story, but it's important to be honest, like, "Hey, I've had better days," something as simple as that. But don't say, "I'm doing amazing," when I'm not, because every single thing shows up in your body, and in the emotions can really take over. So that's really important. And the other thing is miracles happen every single day. So if you're having a difficult time, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's missing a past loved one, miracles happen every single day. Now, can I tell you exactly how the miracle will happen? No, it's going to happen differently for different people. It might be something someone sends you. It could be a video that you need at that moment. It could be a message, an intuitive message that you receive in a dream. It could be someone calling you on the phone at the perfect time. It could be an awareness of something that you're supposed to add into your diet to nourish yourself. It could be going out in nature and getting healed by nature. No matter what, miracles happen every day. And I think the hardest thing for humans that are living here is, what is going to happen in my future? How can I have faith when I can't see the other end of it? When you're going through a difficult time, you're trying to look for the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get through this holiday? Or how am I going to get through this day? Or how am I going to show up in the way that I used to? Because I don't feel that same way. And I think it's a big thing to give yourself permission that you don't have to be the same if you're not feeling the same. There were times when I was going through my own grief, losing a loved one, where I would show up places, but it wasn't me. There was a dazed overlook. I didn't realize it until after, until people closest to me would say, "Wow, you were really going through a difficult time," and they saw a difference in me, physically and emotionally. I remember when I was teaching third grade, and it was my first year teaching, and I was going through grief, and there was a point, I don't know what part of the year, but I must have looked like I wasn't in a daze anymore, because one of the teachers said, "Welcome back." And I thought, I've been here the whole year. What do you mean, welcome back? And I recognized, wow, I really wasn't present in the way that I would have been years before. So sometimes what happens during grief is there's a part of us that dies inside. There's a piece of us that is not here anymore, and sometimes it comes back later in a new way. And I think if you're aware of this process, you might understand a little bit more. Why do I feel so disconnected right now? Well, a piece of your soul, a little fragment of your soul, is in a different space. If you lost a loved one, a piece of your soul is in heaven with that loved one. A piece of your heart is connected to that loved one. So it's important to really honor those parts of yourself when you're going through grief. And grief can show up in tough times. It could show up in happy times too. And I've talked to different people that have lost their loved ones. And one thing that I want to clarify for people, because this used to happen to me, was if I was feeling a moment of joy and peace and happiness, there was a part of me that right after I experienced that joy and peace, I would either one think, "Oh gosh, when is the ball going to drop again?" Which that still comes up for me too, I think, because of the trauma of experienced grief. And then two, this doesn't come up anymore, where I felt guilt feeling happy and joyous, because I thought, well, I'm still upset and sad with my grief, but how can I be happy and sad at the same time? I didn't understand that. And what I want you to know is that's very normal. And your past loved ones, if we're talking about grief of a past loved one, they want you to be happy. It brings them joy to have happiness. It actually is part of their mission. when they're physically not here where you can't see them, but they are here spiritually, they are standing with you. They're trying to bring you moments to bring you joy. They will nudge someone to call you at the right time. They will have someone, a stranger, reach out to you and say something to you that you think, wow, that sounds so familiar. It sounds like something my grandmother would say, or it sounds like something my mother or father would say that's not here with me anymore. These are all ways that they communicate with you, okay? And I'm just going to make sure I can actually pull this up if anyone's trying to chat. I can't see it on my desktop computer. If you're here and you can hear me, tell me in the comments because I want to make sure you can hear me. I have my phone out now so I can see. So, one thing that I will say is it's if you can get to a space where you are surrounded with people and go to a space where you're doing something that you're not in your house during the holidays by yourself, do that. And if you're feeling like I'm so depressed, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, go and serve. Go and volunteer. Go volunteer and do something and connect with humans and give back. You can do that when you're not upset. That's something that's, for me, that's what I love doing, giving back, okay? And when you're in a space of serving other people, it kind of helps you push yourself out of the way and think, okay, right now in this moment, I'm going to serve them, and it fills up your own bucket. And if you are a teacher and you're on my page, one book that I absolutely love, or if you're a parent, you can get this book. It's called Have You Filled a Bucket? And it's all about when you fill someone's bucket, when you give them a compliment or you do something nice for them, it automatically fills up your own bucket. If you do something that's opposite of that and you're taking from someone's bucket, you're also taking from yourself. So this is a book that I loved reading to my third grade students. Have You Filled a Bucket? So you can get it for yourself. It's a short read. It's a picture book, or get it for a child. But I really believe in the power of doing for others, and this will actually bring some sort of healing to you. If you're someone that can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you can't see the other end of the staircase, you're trying to see and you can't figure it out, and intuitively you can't tune into it because you're too emotionally connected to the problem in your life, that is very normal. The most important thing you could do is surround yourself with supportive people, people that don't push you and rush you through the process of your grief. Knowing that grief is in your own time, it's not on anyone else's watch. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with people that are grieving, especially if it's a long period of time. I know for me personally, I definitely went through my grief for a very long time. And I believe that grief is not ending. I believe that grief, if you've loved someone and you're connected to a past loved one, grief is that missing of the person's soul, missing of the memories. That's going to come up no matter who it is. And every piece of grief is different. If you're someone that's grieving your old life, where maybe you're someone that's, you could be in your 80s and you're like, oh, I wish I was in my 20s still. I'm grieving that time in my life. Go back and reflect on those memories and think of all the gifts and the lessons that you received. But don't get stuck in the past thinking that you can't be in that space again in a different way and experience true joy. Because time is really the thing that is the most precious thing right now. Time. How are you utilizing your time? And for me personally, when there was something really difficult going on, when I was going through my own grief, when I thought way too far ahead, it actually made it more depressing because I didn't want to think too far ahead because it overwhelmed me. And I thought, how am I going to get through that? I can't even think about next holiday. Like, I need to think about this moment in this time of the day. So really think in your mind, how can I be present right now that it could bring me joy? It's funny because something so simple as like a cuddly blanket or a warm hot chocolate or a cup of tea or reading a good book or doing an art project or putting on some music can be something that can actually be very beautiful for you and give you that peace. Even if it's 5 minutes of peace. When you're going through a difficult time, that 5 minutes of peace has a dramatic effect on your physical and emotional well-being. If you're someone that's dealing with sickness right now, what can you do to actually feel really, really good? Maybe it's putting on earrings. Maybe it's putting on a cozy blanket. Maybe it's drinking something warm. Maybe it's going in nature. We know the power. There's been scientific studies done on nature and how everything that's healing is in nature. Everything. The sun is one of the most powerful things that we can receive during times of not feeling well, whether it's emotional or it's physical. And remember, emotional always connects to the physical. So most likely it's hitting emotionally first and then it becomes physical. For me, when I was going through my grief, I can compare it to that because it's a tangible piece of information that I can share with you is when I was going through deep grief, my whole forehead, probably about 6 months after the loss of my loved one, swelled. So my whole forehead, the people that know me personally, you might remember this. You would remember it. My eyes were like slits and my whole forehead was pronounced. It was all connected here. It took me a very long time for that swelling to go down. It became physical. It was emotional first, and then it became physical. And it wasn't until I did the deep healing through grief and went through it and journaled and took classes and allowed myself to feel the feelings and live life in a new way that my forehead started to go down. But you know what I did at the very beginning? I was trying to force myself to fix my forehead. So I was very frustrated that my forehead was not going down. When I was focused on fixing the forehead and went to every doctor there was, acupuncture definitely helped. I believe that acupuncture moved the energy, but there were things that I was focused on that was so much on trying to get rid of the problem that it wasn't about how can I nourish myself and make myself feel good instead of fixing the problem. That's when things shifted. It's like I forgot about the forehead thing. I just accepted it as it was and started to live my life the best that I could, the best that I knew how, and nourished myself and start to eat differently and hydrate better and go to acupuncture for relaxation too, not just to fix the problem, and just allow myself to be. So I want you to think about that when you're going through grief. It's not necessarily about fixing grief or getting rid of grief because that doesn't happen. It's about how can I live with the grief and how can the grief shift effortlessly. And when I say effortlessly, I mean it shifts without even knowing. It doesn't take away the pain. That's not what I'm saying. All of a sudden, the grief carries you and you start living your life because you're honoring your past loved one. Or you're living your life because, you know what, I don't know how much time I have and I'm going to make it a point to live my life fully now. So you have to think about where are you spending your time and energy. And when you can shift your focus from the fear of what is or isn't, and you start focusing on what you can do in this moment, I can get a nice cozy drink. I can read a good book. I can laugh and watch a funny movie. Even though I'm not really feeling it right now, I can put it on and see what happens. That moves the energy. I can surround myself with people that actually support me and will help me during this time instead of pushing me to a space where I'm not happy and I'm even in worse grief right now. So I want you to think about what are you doing right now for yourself that's actually helping you through the holidays if you're going through a difficult time, and then how are you helping the people around you if they're going through their own grief. Now, a lot of the times we're afraid to bring up a past loved one to a friend because we don't want to make them upset. In actuality, it's very healthy for them to be able to talk about their friend or their loved one if they want to. So don't be afraid of talking and checking in with your person that's lost someone. You can say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or tell me a little bit more about this person that's passed. I want to learn more about them. And you'll notice there's a shift in energy there. It might not be easy. but there will be a shift in energy and excitement that might come. And if they're not ready to talk about it, they'll tell you. They'll say, "Oh, I don't want to go there right now. I can't talk about it right now." But at least present it if it comes up to you where you're wondering, how are you doing with this grief? You know, acknowledge the elephant in the room. I think that's the most important thing. You know, if there is a breakup or if there's a loss of a loved one or there's something going on, just say, "Hey, I know you probably don't want to talk about this right now, but I just want to let you know I know what's going on. If you need to talk, let me know." I know a lot of people come to me and they'll say, "I don't know how to handle my loved one's grief. You know, I don't know what to say to them. I don't know what to do." You do know in your in your heart, what would you want done for you, and what does your heart tell you to do? When I have a feeling come up inside me, I'm a person where now I go off of intuition, pure intuition. And if I have an overwhelming feeling inside of me where I just know I have to do something for someone, even if I don't know them well, and I get nudged, I pay attention to it. Um, and I don't tell people that I do it. I don't advertise it to other people and say, "I did this, I sent this to this person." But I do it because it's in my heart and I'm getting nudged to do it. And I listen to that nudge. If we can all do something like that, reach out and even send a message. It doesn't have to be a physical gift, but send a message just to acknowledge someone and say, "Hey, I felt a little silence. Like, I feel like, are you okay? Are you doing okay?" Or I just want to send you a little note to say hello. Do those things and it won't lead you astray. Your intuition and your heart always guides you to the right spaces. Okay? It always leads you to the right spaces. So I hope this video helped you, whether you're going through a difficult time or someone else's. You can share this video with them. And I'm going to pull a little card. Before I do, I'm pulling it from the deck. I want you to think about a past loved one too. This is from the Unlock Your Connection, my Oracle deck. Now, before I pull the card, I want to tell you about a couple things that are coming up. One thing is, if you're in Safety Harbor, Florida, try to get out of the house and show up. Come to on December 7th at Om Meditation and Wellness. Tony and I are leading a workshop. It's all about creating the vision for the next 12 months. Sometimes we don't know what we want for 12 months, and surrounding yourself with other people and hearing what other people have to say actually helps you. And it makes you think, "Oh, that's actually a good idea. I would love to take a trip to Ireland, or I would love to do, to go and take a spin class." I'm just making these things up. You start to get ideas from other people, and surrounding yourself with other people with the same intention is a mastermind. Two or more people that come together with the same intention, magic occurs. And you start to really think outside the box, and you start to use your energy and use your imagination and your intuition in a more powerful way. So if you're someone in the Tampa Bay area, as of this second, there should be spots left. I'm going to reach out to Om Meditation and Wellness and make sure that we have spots left. But we're accepting, I want to say 20 to 25 people. And then we're making signs. I don't want to show you my sign right now because it doesn't look great. Hold on. I'm afraid to hold it up. But it is I'm not done yet with my sign. But hold on. I have to fix it, so please don't pay attention to the word because I messed up on it. But we're doing Mod Podge things, and I'm going to put this, the word joy in gold. And I might add some more designs to it. But we're going to be creating words for the month, and at the very end with crafts. And during the workshop, we are going to be doing, we're going to lead you through guided meditation. We're going to lead you through some music, some releasing of the old things, some creating of new things. It's going to be awesome. You're going to feel very clear when you leave. Most people don't end up carrying out their New Year resolutions. They just don't. It doesn't happen. This way that we're doing it, that we can show you, it's going to make you do it. And it's going to allow you to have fun and get clear on really what it is that you want, okay? And if 12 months is too overwhelming for you, don't worry about it. There's other ways to do this. We'll get you there. So that's one thing that's coming up. It's a Saturday morning. You can sign up. I want to say it's on my website already, lindsaymarino.com. It should be on there. If you don't see it up there, I'll check after this. Just reach out to me. I'll give you the link. It's on Om Meditation and Wellness website too, and it's all about monthly mantras. It's called Monthly Mantra, so you'll see it with like a little ornaments on the picture. And then the next thing that we have coming up is actually on Tuesday night. It's for mediums. Tuesday night, it's a free webinar. So it's all about going to your next level. It's going to be very interactive. We're going to take live participants if you are someone that's interested in that. You can ask questions. We're going to do all different things on that. So I'm excited about it. But I wanted to share that. So now I'm going to pull out a card. So I want you to think of a past loved one in your mind, past loved one that you absolutely love and you want a message from. Okay. And I am going to shuffle these cards. But before I do, I'm going to read you the directions, okay? Whoops. And I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then I'm going to think of my past loved one. And then you're going to listen to the words that I say. I'm a clear channel for messages of love. I welcome in, say your past loved one, to guide me in choosing the perfect card. So if you're on this live right now, there's a reason you're here, and I'll pull a card. Okay. Shuffle. You can never choose the wrong card. If I pull a card for you and you see the message and someone else sees the same message, each of you will take it in a different way pertaining to your loved one. You might even get a memory of your loved one that's a lot different than another person that's picking this card. Okay, let's see. Okay, the message is it will get easier. It will get easier. So if something's happening right now for you, it will get easier. Now this message could be for you. You might even think about something else that's come up for you, and you're thinking, I can think that it goes with that topic. So think of how this message pertains to you right now. It will get easier. Is it your grief? Is it a job? Is it health? What is it? What is the thing that comes to you? Your first instinct that goes with this message. I hope this video helped you. If it helped you, share it with a friend. And I hope you have a beautiful holiday. I most likely will come on here most likely before Christmas. But if not, have a beautiful Christmas and holiday. Talk with you guys soon. I'll see some of you on the mediumship webinar and some of you in person in Safety Harbor, Florida. Talk to you soon. Bye.